Hello, I'm Wasan Al-Ammar, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how I got through good things always coming to an end. Slurping the mango juice during recess while squeezing the carton, drinking every drop. I slurp again, again and again, not being able to throw it in the trash, even though there's no more left. I always thought I could dodge the signs of things starting to finish, like squeezing the last bit of toothpaste. I always seem to convince myself there's more in there. Or while watching series, I'm sure they're creating another season was what I always used to say on the very last minute. Ever since I was a child, I never truly understood the reason why good things had to come to an end. I used to get upset, angry, and frustrated about that. You see, in reality, nothing lasts forever. But what if I wanted it to? Can it not? I remember wanting holidays to last longer, trips, friendships, and even lives being extended. Losing a loved one was and still continues to be one of the hardest things that I could ever go through. I'm never going to get over the fact that I never got to say a proper goodbye to my grandfather before he passed away 2 years ago. Have you ever gone through the death of a loved one? Do you know what it feels like to have this pain, this specific type of pain, right here in the specific place in your heart? Yeah, well, I hated that type of pain. Seeing as that it occurred during the pandemic, that time was really tough. We couldn't visit him often or even get into close contact due to COVID-19. When he was ill, my uncle rushed him to the hospital where he was taken in for a general examination. They had a routinely checkup to make sure it wasn't a variant, which required him to spend the night. We tried to call him, but the service was horrible, and he couldn't adequately respond. You could say my parents had a really tough day. I remember this phrase he would always tell me, إن شاء الله نشوفك متخرجة من الجامعة دكتورة بأعلى المراتب, which meant he hoped to see me as a graduating doctor in the highest of ranks. I used to nod and smile, not understanding a word that he said, not knowing it would be the quote that motivates me today during the hardest times of my life. Throughout my childhood, I would always start imagining important events in my future, such as my graduation, my wedding, and the day I'd come to the realization of who I am. I'd always imagined my grandfather attending these events, or at least being proud of my accomplishments, like walking me down the aisle. He was always there in the image that I had in my head. Or even clapping for me while I shake the dean's hand, or visiting me at my first day working at the hospital. Until that day. The day where it hit me. The day where I realized that he wasn't going to be attending any of these events. That his time had run out. Even this had come to an end. The heartache of losing my grandfather was my awakening. My apprehension of the end. I began to realize that the issue is not that things actually end. That is natural. It's a circle of life. The issue is that we are dreading that ending without genuinely living in the moment. We need to start cherishing these precious minutes in life that we keep on taking for granted. Don't wait until it's too late. You don't need to go through an unfortunate moment to realize. Start now before it all comes to an end. And before you knew it, with the blink of an eye, this speech had also come to an end. Thank you.